The Canva video editor is easy and free to use, which makes it a great option when it comes to editing any kind of video, whether it be a full long form video for a platform like YouTube or a short form video like an Instagram Reel or TikTok. In this tutorial, I'm walking you step by step through editing your video with the Canva video editor and showing how it works with all of its features and capabilities. Let's jump in. Okay, so to use the Canva video editor, you'll need to create your free Canva account if you don't have one yet. And once you've created your account, you'll be able to come up here to the top left where it says create a design, and you click that button, you'll be able to enter what you want. So there's lots of different kinds of videos you can create depending on what size and format you want. So if you just start typing in video, you'll see a landscape video that measures 1920 by 1080 pixels. This would be perfect for something like a long form YouTube video, or you could choose this video mobile, which is 1080 by 1920 pixels. Canva has a lot of different options here, but for today's demo, we're going to go with this video landscape. So when we click on that, it's going to bring us into our project editor where we've got pretty much a blank canvas here. So the first thing you'll need to do is to upload your video that you want to edit into Canva by coming over here to the left side where it says uploads. If you click on the uploads tab, you'll be able to come to this purple button that says upload files, and you can choose your video file to bring into Canva. Once it's uploaded, it'll show here under this videos tab. So I've already uploaded this video of myself that I'm going to edit. So when I click on that, it automatically adds it to my project here, but you'll see it's not filling up the full space. I can still see some of this white background. So I'm going to click the corners and drag to enlarge my video so it fills the whole background. So once your video is here in the project, you'll see the timeline of the video down here at the bottom, which you can grab and drag this line to jump to any part in your video. If you just click it and drag, you can move it around and see the timestamp at the top. So I'm here at 25.2 seconds into my video, and I can drag this line anywhere I want in my timeline. The most basic thing I'm going to be doing when I'm editing my video is cutting and removing any mistakes or pauses or times I may have repeated myself to clip it down to just the parts I want to show in my video. So I can do two things to accomplish this. I can cut or split the page, which we'll show in just a minute, or I can trim. Trimming is when you're just basically trimming off some of the beginning or the end of the video. So here in the beginning, you can see if I drag my cursor back over to the start of this, I'm here just starting my camera, looking over my notes real quick before I go ahead and start talking to the camera. So of course, in my final video, I don't want that first part of my prep to show. So I'm going to trim this by coming here to the beginning of the timeline. And when I hover over the start of this, I can see my cursor changes to this little arrow. Then I can click and drag this to the right, and that is trimming off the beginning portion of this video. I can continue until I see the spot that I want to start at. It's most likely right around here where I start talking to the camera. So now you can see it's trimmed, and now if I come back over to the beginning, it's right here where I'm talking to the camera. I can also trim on the end. If I come all the way to the end of my video, I can click and drag it this way as well if I've got extra space at the end here that I want to cut out. But let's say there's a spot in the middle where maybe, like I mentioned before, I mess up or I have too long of a pause and I want to cut that part out of my video. I can do that as well. I'm going to find the spot in my video, click on where I want to make the cut. And in Canva, it's actually called splitting the page. So to split the page, I can either right click and choose the option that says split page. And when I do that, you can see here, I've got a line separating these two clips. Now, if I click on them, they are now two separate clips. I can do that again. If I'm wanting to cut out, let's say this middle portion here, I would do another split right here by right clicking, choosing split page. And now I've got three different clips, and I could remove this middle one by selecting it and then hitting delete on my keyboard. That takes it out completely. And now I'm left with my two clips. There's also a keyboard shortcut for splitting the page like this. I can just select the clip I want in the spot that I want to make the cut and hit S on my keyboard, and that does the same exact thing. I'm going to remove these splits here just for the sake of this demo to bring us back to one entire clip. And the next thing I want to show you is extracting the audio. So right now we've just got this one video with our video and audio all in this one file. But if I select my video here and right click, I can extract the audio, which then pulls my audio out from the video file and shows it on a separate line beneath. So this purple line here is showing only the audio portion, and I can then edit my video and audio separately, or I can even use this audio line to tell where I'm pausing in the middle of my video. So I've got a big line here where it's showing there's no sound at all. This is probably a time where I was thinking about what I wanted to say next. Obviously, I don't want this in my final video, so I know just by looking at this audio line that I'm probably going to want to make a cut right here where I stop talking, and then right here where I start talking, and then remove that whole middle section. So that's a little bit more advanced. You don't have to extract the audio, but I do like doing that sometimes just to be able to use the audio to see where those pauses are. For now, let's go back to where our audio is just part of our video here. And the next thing we might want to do is add some B-roll videos or images to our video. So this is our primary video, but a great thing to do to keep your viewers' attention is to add what we call B-roll, which is a secondary video that's going to be overlaid on top of your primary video. So you'll still hear me talking underneath, but we'll see something different visually. So let's say I want to add some B-roll from here where I'm going to make a split to here where I'll make another split. So I've got this clip in the middle and I know I want to add some B-roll of maybe a person typing on a computer over this. I can either import my own video to use if I've got a file that I already want to use, or I can come over to Canva's elements library here on the left and search for what I want. So I might search typing on computer and it's going to bring up all kinds of elements from videos to graphics to photos. So if I'm looking for videos, I'll see this section here that says videos. I can just click here to expand and see all of the videos that match my search. And when I find one I like, I'm going to click to add it to my project. So here's my B-roll video. You can see it's still on top of my primary video, but I'm going to click to expand this to make this fill my background so that during this clip, the only thing you're seeing is this person typing. Now we can see if we look down here in the timeline, you'll see that that is now overlaid over my primary video. So when I play this video, it's starting here where I'm talking, and then it's going to move into seeing the person typing, but you'll still be hearing what I'm speaking over this. And then at the end of this, it'll go back to the primary video of me talking. If you didn't want to do a B-roll video, you could still add something like an image. So maybe I just want a still image of a graphic. So I can click to add whatever I want to my project here. I can resize it. I can move it around to place it where I want. And you can see it here overlaid over my video. So again, if I play this from the clip before, we'll see it's not there. And then when it moves to this clip, it shows up. Now, one thing to note is that when you're looking for videos, graphics, and photos using the Canva element library, you'll see this little crown symbol on the bottom right-hand corner of some of these that says Pro. This tells you that this is a Pro piece of content, and you will have to have a paid Canva Pro account, which is their upgraded plan, to be able to access these without having to pay extra to remove the watermark. If you're a Canva Pro user, you have access to all of these additional elements as well as some really fun capabilities and tools that we'll see in just a minute. So of course you can edit like we're doing on the free plan, but if you want access to all of these extra features and tools, then I definitely recommend you consider Canva Pro. I've got a free link in the video description box below in case you'd like to try it out. That'll give you 30 days free on Canva Pro, so you can see if it'll be a good fit for you. I also love to use Canva to create digital products to sell online. Selling digital products is an amazing way to do the work once up front and then set it to sell on autopilot to make passive income. If you're interested in learning how to do this and make money online working from home, I have a free 45-minute long masterclass that's going to be super helpful for you. It's called Digital Product Powerhouse, and it goes through the basics of starting a profitable online digital products business. So I definitely encourage you, if you're interested, to click through and watch that. The link is in the video description box below after you're done watching this video. Okay, the next thing you may want to consider is adding transitions between your clips. If you have two clips that are separate, you can hover here in between them and you'll see this little arrow symbol that says add transition. If you click on that, you'll be able to choose from different kinds of transitions, options like dissolve, sliding to the left or the right, circle wipe, match and move, flow, lots of fun ones. So if I click to add one of these, let's just say slide, then when it moves from one clip to the next, it's going to include that fun transition. And I can choose to apply between all pages or just keep it here as the transition between these two specific clips. So let's test this out and see how it looks as it's playing. There's the wipe and on to our next clip. So that can be fun, but it can also be distracting sometimes. So another option, if you don't want to add a drastic transition like that, is to actually just zoom in and out by cropping. So here I might want to add a sort of crop effect when it moves from this clip to this clip. So what I would do is select the clip I want to crop, which would be my second one, select it here on the project. And then if I double click this, it'll bring up my cropping menu. So I can either choose a specific format or ratio over here, or I can leave it on free form and do it myself just by clicking on the corner and dragging it in a little bit. Now, I don't want this to be too drastic. I still want it to look somewhat natural, but just giving a little bit of a crop is going to add some movement between the clips. So when I feel like I've got this cropped in the right area, I'm just going to hit return or enter. So that I applied my crop, but I can see it's still not filling out my whole background. So now I'm going to select this and drag it back out to fill the background. I want to, as much as possible, try to keep my face and specifically my eyes in a similar spot on the page as the clip before so that it feels really natural when it's transitioning. So let's see how it looks here if we play this from one clip to the next. We've got our wide clip and then it crops in right there to our closer up clip. Then after this clip, I could go back to the wide and continue zooming in and out throughout the whole video. Another thing I might want to do is add some text on screen, which I can do by coming over here to the left-hand side where it says text. And I can either just click add a text box to start from scratch and make it totally custom, or I can choose from Canva's font combinations. These are kind of like font and text presets. So if I click on one of these, it'll add it to my page here. I can resize and I can edit this to say and look like exactly what I want. So let's say I want to change the colors of this. I can come up to my little text color box here. I can change these to my brand colors and really do whatever I want with this. I can double click to backspace and type in what I want. And then you can see that the text box is this one down here on the timeline above me. So this is only going to show over this clip. So coming back to the clip before it, we'll play and then we'll see as soon as it goes to the next clip, the text pops up on our video. We can always click on our project to highlight our text and edit it further. And we can even trim this down. So let's say we don't want the text showing for this whole entire clip. We only want it showing for a few seconds. We can come to the end here and hover like we did on our main video to trim and drag this back all the way to shorten it. And we can even click on this and move it around to put it over the specific part of the clip we want it on. Now you can also animate your text, which is really fun. So you should see this menu bar at the top where you can come to animate, and then you'll see your choices here on the left for different animations like typewriter, where it looks like it's being typed out, ascend, shift, burst, lots of fun different ones. And again, when I click on the one I want, I've got extra options here like increasing the intensity. That is a Canva Pro feature. I can tell because it has this little crown next to it, but I can choose if I want it to animate on the entrance, so when the text comes up, or do I want the animation to apply on the exit of the text, or on both. Now I may want to add in music or sound effects as well, which again, I can import and bring in my own files if I've gotten something from a third-party website. My favorite for this is Epidemic Sound. You can sign up with them and get royalty-free music and sound effects to use. Really simple and easy, but you can also find audio inside of Canva's Elements library. So if you come here to the Elements, you can click on Music, and that'll show you some different options for audio tracks that you can use. You can click to see all. You can still search in the music section, and you can tell which ones are pro music and which ones are free based on if they have the little pro crown symbol on them. Again, because I'm a member of Epidemic Sound, I usually just find tracks and sound effects there that I like, and then I bring them in using this Uploads tab in Canva. But either way, when you've got your track in Canva, you can click to add it to your project, and you'll see it down here as a separate audio track beneath your primary video on your timeline. Now, a quick note here, you just want to make sure whatever track you're using, that you do have rights to use it in the way that you're wanting to use it. So again, a reason I love Epidemic Sound, it's royalty free and you can use it without worrying about copyright issues because you're paying for the rights to use it as a member. Canva does have licenses that you can read that tell you what you're allowed to do with their free content and what you're allowed to do with their pro content. So if you're planning on using anything from audio files to videos to graphics from Canva's Elements library, I definitely recommend you read through those licenses just to make sure you understand the difference between them and what you're allowed to do with them. But when you've got your audio track down here, you can click to move it around to different sections of your video. Again, you can trim it, make it shorter by dragging the ends, make it longer by dragging them out. You can choose what part of the audio you want to start. So let's say I wanted to start it here in the middle. I could trim it to that part and then move this to the beginning. So it's coming in from the very beginning of my video on that part specifically. And I can even adjust things like the volume by right-clicking on the audio track itself, clicking on a volume, and I can make this louder or softer. If this is serving as sort of background music that's going to be playing under me talking, I definitely want to make sure the volume is a little bit lower so it's not distracting from what I'm actually saying. And I've got other options up here too as well, like fade and beat sync, which is what will actually help your video time the cuts to the beat of the music, which is a really awesome feature. So lots of fun things you can do with this audio track just by right-clicking on it. You can adjust the volume on your main video as well if you select it in your project. come up to audio on the menu here at the top, and then come over to the left and use your volume slider to increase or decrease it. Now, speaking of our menu here at the top, I want to show you this little button here on the left that says edit, because this gives you a lot of fun extra features you can use to edit your video further. The first option here says adjust, which you can come do to adjust the look of your video. You can adjust everything from the white balance to the tint and color, the brightness, the contrast. You can go through all of these different options and make it look exactly like you want it to. And then you can come down to this next section that says Magic Studio. So these are pro features that are using Canva's AI to do really interesting things, like the background remover, which if I click on will process my video and actually remove this background completely, which I can then do something else with the background, like add a different photo. So let's say I wanted it to appear like this one was in the background. I'm going to expand this to cover the entire page, move it to where I want, and then I'm going to right click on this photo, come to layer, and then choose send to back, which is going to put it behind the image of me. So now as the video plays, I've got that in the background and it appears totally different. Now I'm going to come back to where we were before the background removal and come back to our edit buttons. You can also click here to get Canva's AI to generate automatic highlights for you. So if you have a longer video that you know you're wanting to clip into key points of what you talk about in the video, but you don't want to have to do that manually, the highlights feature is a really cool way that automatically does that for you. And then you can look through and decide which ones you want to keep. They've also got this filters section, so I can click through and add a filter to my video. I can choose the intensity of the filter. And then I've got this audio section. This is another place I can come to adjust the volume, extract the audio like we did before. And there's this enhance voice feature. This is a Canva Pro feature where if I toggle this on, it's actually going to make my voice sound better. So this is especially helpful for talking head videos like this, where the voice is the main thing that you're hearing all throughout the video. This is just going to help the quality of that audio sound better. I can also adjust my playback speed. So if I want this video to play through quicker, I can increase this with the video speed slider, or I can decrease it to make it slower. And the two options here at the bottom are play on repeat, which just if I toggle this on allows the video to loop. So at the end, when it's done, it'll just automatically start back over and play on repeat. This is great for something like if I'm embedding this video into a slide presentation and I want this to continue just playing through as I do my presentation. And the play automatically is another great option for that. This is going to cause this video to play automatically when it pops up in something like a slide presentation without me having to actually click on it and play it. I've got a lot of these options up here on this top menu as well. We've seen most of these already, but it's just another place I can come to trim, to use the background remover, to get to my audio settings, my playback settings. I can do something fun with this, which is border style. If I want to add a border to my video, I can do that. I can choose the border colors. Let's say I want one of my brand colors and I want to make this a little bit thicker. I can move this slider in. I can choose if I want this to be a solid border or a dashed border. So lots of fun options here. I can come to crop. I can choose flip, which will flip my video either horizontally or vertically. And I can make my video more transparent if I have something in the background and I'm wanting this to show through to the background, like a different video or photo. I can animate up here. I can choose the position if I've got different layers going on. So many great features here in the Canva video editor. Now, of course, when we're finished, we're going to have to figure out what we want to do with this video. So we're going to come up here to the top right where it says share, and we've got a lot of different options here. Most common being download. We'll look at that in just a minute, but you can also choose this button that says see all. You can save this straight to something like your Google Drive or your Dropbox. You can add it to a Microsoft PowerPoint. So I definitely suggest you look through these options if you need to do anything like this with your video. But coming back, most people are just going to use this download button. So when I choose to download, this is just going to download this and save it to my computer or my device. And it defaults to an MP4 video, which is generally what we're going to use for this. Because I have Canva Pro, I have access to this quality slider, which I can then increase or decrease depending on what I want the quality to be. So here it defaults to 1080p, but if I wanted to bring it up, I could bring it up to 4K with Canva Pro. I could bring it down to 720p. So this is really just whatever you need depending on what you're using this video for. And another option I've got here is to select specific pages. So remember, these are considered pages when we make a split or a cut in our timeline. So right now we have 3 different clips, which are showing us 3 different pages. I can either save all of these pages together or just choose one or a couple of these specific pages or clips I want to download. So when I've got all my settings everything's ready to go, I'm gonna click download and that will save it to my computer. So that is how you can use the Canva video editor to make amazing videos. Remember to click the links below to try out Canva Pro free for 30 days if you want access to all of those additional videos and graphics and audio files, as well as pro features like the background remover and the enhanced voice. And also click the link below to hop over and watch my free digital product powerhouse masterclass that'll teach you how to use Canva to make digital products to sell online working from home. Bye, friend.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.